Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Howdy. My name is Joy Ruffin, and I'm coming to you from the Sunshine State, Florida. And tonight, you are here with us on Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Living Legacies. It's a show that we bring to you because we're looking for women who are trailblazers, women who are heart driven, centered leaders, purpose driven, agents of change, cosmic healers, women who are not above the average, ordinary, normal, but yet they're rising to all that's the best within them. So we try to bring you women who will inspire, motivate you to your purpose and your gift, whatever it is that you're about. And tonight, our guest is Carla Merrill, and she is an event planner and much, much more. But you need to hear her story. And so before I bring her up, I don't usually like to read verbatim, but tonight, because this is such an interesting story, I want you to get just a little bit of it and she'll share more with you. She is the founder of Meet and Greet Events and creator of the Event Profit Maximize System, designed for action-driven coaches and entrepreneurial people that are looking to make a bigger impact, get more clients, close more sales, and make more money by speaking their own strategy live events. Speaking at is what I meant to say. After years of working as an attorney, and this is what I want her to speak to us about, because she decided to make a change, and that change has changed everything for her. So I want to bring her up, and I want you to say hello. I'm going to bring her up now and say hello to her. Hello, Carla, and thank you for joining us. It's delightful to have you here with us. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here with you.
Well, it's my honor to have you here because I know your story. And when you told me your story, I was blown away because it's really an unusual but great story. So, what I want you to do is share a little bit about your story, about what you were doing prior to making this change and why you made the change. Tell us more about that.
So, Joy, I didn't grow up here in United States. I grew up in Panama. I'm originally from Panama, and I came to this country when I had already graduated and practiced law for a couple of years, and obtained a master's degree here in the United States. I got a traditional attorney job at a law firm, but I found that it wasn't the way the law was practiced here. It was very different from what I was used to, and I wasn't enjoying it. So actually fell kind of into the field of estate planning and marketing services. So I was still using everything that I learned in law school and applying it to the field of marketing here in the United States. It turns out that I was really good at sales, really good at advising people on how to do the estate, their trust and their will. And I went all the way to the top. I became a marketing director of a very big international company. But deep inside, I wasn't fulfilled. I was waking up to do the same job that I could do with my eyes closed. And I found myself thinking there has to be something else. I knew that it wasn't my passion. It was a profitable job. It was a good job. I was really good at it. Uh, but there's a point in your life that you realize money is not everything. If you are dreading that Monday, if you are dreading that commute to work. So I knew inside of me that there had to be something else that I could do that would make me get up in the morning every morning.
Yes. And you know, Carla, this is why I love your story because all of us at different times in our lives, most of us come to that, especially if we're doing something that we're doing because someone else thought we would be great at it or wanted us to be good at it. It could be mom, dad, it could be relatives, it could be friends. But yet your heart, your gut, your soul is aching for something else. So, how and when did you come to that realization that you needed to find something else that would fill you up more?
Well, within the job that I was doing, because I had a lot of liberty, let's say, in my market, as long as the numbers were met in sales, we had a lot of liberty on how we would do our marketing. And nobody really in the company wanted to do live events. Live events are a lot of work. So nobody in the company really wanted to do that. And it's something that I was curious about. And I said, well, how about, we educate our clients into the 100 products that we're trying to sell, instead of just coming at them with a sale. Why don't we educate them in an event, invite them to an event, have a reception, give them some valuable education, and maybe they will feel more attracted to take the step. And actually, that's what happened. We started participating actively in more Launch or Learns events, and more educational events, and more trade shows and fairs. And I found that that was the part that was really exciting for me. When after the client was attracted and the sale was completed, and I actually had to do my job, which was the legal part, I'm like, oh no, let's just plan the next event, because this is a lot to say in what it is very related to what I do right now, because there's a lot to say into the delivery of a live event. It's all about the journey and the excitement on almost like dating the client and making them fall in love with you and your product, or your service. So that's how I started that little bug in me saying, but when I get to the part of the sale, or the part of the legal part, I'm not excited anymore. I'm thinking about how to do this again. So I came to that realization, and things happened that set up the scenario for me to take that step. I'm also a person. I'm a planner by heart, meaning that financially I was prepared to take that step and venture out. And I'll tell you this. You're probably curious to know what was the first step, right? The first step was
Yes.
waking up and saying, I am no longer an attorney. I am an event planner. And believe it and declare it.
Carla, I love the way you phrase that. I love the way you put that, because that is, you gave us complete clarity on why you made that transition from what you were doing, and the difference from the legal aspect and the way and the means that you're serving the customers. Let us say hello. I see a few people here, the loyal and the faithful, and a couple of new faces. Always good to see you here. You're always welcome here. We love seeing any, every, and all who show up, because it tells us a lot. So welcome, and thanks for showing up. Continue telling us a little bit more about when you decided concretely to make that transition, how difficult it was for you, or maybe I should say, was it difficult for you?
Well, I think any change in your life, I mean, there has to be that part of courage. But there is something that happened at that moment, and it have followed me through. This was 6 years ago, almost 7 actually years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's something that has followed me, have become almost like my personal motto after that. Yes, was I scared? Yes, I was. But I was more scared of fast forwarding 10 years and feeling the way that I was feeling. That fear was bigger than the fear of trying something else, because I already knew what I had. I already knew that I have the intellectual capacity and the physical capacity to make money and to make something out of myself. So if I already knew how far I have gone doing what I was doing, what was the harm of trying something new? So with all the fear that I had, it was a panicking thought at that moment to think, I'm gonna be in 10 years, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be doing this same thing.
I bet, in conjunction with what you just said, that somewhere deep down inside, Carla, I'm assured, and you're going to speak to this, that you also knew, because I know the connection that you and I had, that how you meet people, how to build good, solid relationships. I think a part of what you're doing is building good relationships. You know how to make that inroad where you make the heart connection with the people that you're working with, the people that you intend to serve. How would you speak to that?
Well, the way I can summarize it, and I think this will be very, very helpful for people that are maybe contemplating the idea of making a change, a drastic change like the one that I did. There is three steps, basic that I took that are really related to the relationship part that you are bringing up. One of them, I come from, I went to law school, so I come from a solid um, background of education. So with the first thing that I thought is that, okay, I have to acquire education and educate myself into the field that I'm, coming into. So that's always a good recommendation. The second one is very related to what you said in regards to relationship. I volunteered.
Yes.
I volunteer, I make myself available to any and all opportunities to exercise and practice what I wanted to do and be.
Yes.
So it's safe to say that by declaring it, after declaring it, which nowadays a lot of people talk about making strong declarations, so everything aligns in your life to accomplish something. I will add to that, to in conjunction with the declaration, there has to be some sort of action. And my action was, I'm going to build relationships with people that want to maybe use me as a conduit for putting something together I can volunteer for. So the second big one was volunteering. And the third one was getting involved. So the third thing that I did to forge those relationships, because I had no contacts in this business when I started, was
Ah,
in this industry. My contacts were in the financial industry and in the legal industry. Very different. So the third thing I went online and I look at every association, which there are many that are in this industry, a trade association, right? So there's several there. I
uh-huh.
attended all their open houses and I found one that I felt that I was identified with the people. I felt that there was a click. And the moment I found that association, the next day, I not only paid the fee to join, I also joined a committee to get to actively be involved, because I feel one of the things that people sometimes fail in the execution is that they join an association, but they don't dedicate time to get involved and do something in that association to get noticed. And let me tell you, that relationship that I forged 6 years ago, it has paid off over and over and over, because they saw what I was capable to doing and they saw my talents. So I
That,
joined that association. I volunteered in everywhere that possible way that I could. And I also educate myself through several courses and things that I've been doing throughout the years.
Carla, I love what you just said and how you presented that because so many people. I have a friend now who speaks to not so much networking, net friending, and what you did is you got out, found all the different groups that you might want to be a part of, but then when you decided on the one or two or the one, you got involved.
Yes, right
You,
away. The
yeah,
same day, I will never forget, the same day I say, which committee needs help? How can I help? And you don't understand the contacts and the relationships that I made out of those couple years that I served with them. I actually ended up joining the board and being a director on that board very really fast, because I got involved from the very beginning. So they appreciated, the time and the effort that I put into it.
absolutely. I think one of the questions that I had for you, Carla, was what is one of the biggest and the best tips that you can share with the audience about how you made your transition and something that would be good and great for them to embrace right here and now. I think you just shared a good one, an
Yeah,
excellent one.
yeah,
But
that one,
beyond
those
that,
three, yeah,
what
those
else
three
could,
steps are I want to say that are the foundation of what my journey has been on how to start, because many people ask me, well, how do you start? So that's
yes.
the start, right? I
Hmm.
think in more recent years, I think what something that I wish the person that opened meet and greet events 6 years ago would have known that I know now is, so once you're in business, the biggest lesson is that when you start a business, you think that your service or your product or your gifts or your talents are suitable for everybody out there. And
Oh,
if you do not engage business from somebody in your mind, or at least in my mind, 6 years ago, was, I'm going to lose this client. I'm going to lose this opportunity. It took me years and experience to realize that your services, yourself, your gifts are not for everybody. And you are not for everybody, and not everybody is for you. And that's completely okay.
You know, my next question for you was just what you spoke to. What is another great tip or tool that you can share with us that you wish you had known earlier? And it's not even earlier that you now know. And you just addressed that. No, we're not all a good fit for any, every, and
For
all.
everybody.
We have to find the new word today, these buzzwords. You love them or you hate them, or you dislike them. I don't like the word hate. Is you find your tribe, you find your circle, you find the people who resonate with you, who enjoy and celebrate what you're doing. And that's what you did.
Yeah.
And how you had your knowing when you first went to that first network grouping, you knew that was your group. You knew that that was what, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That came intuitively from somewhere deep.
And that applies not only to the people that you're going to surround yourself with. It also applies, and most importantly, that made a significant impact in what my business is today. It also applies to finding, some people call it your audience or your niche, basically finding the ideal client that fit and will make the most value out of your services. That was, as an entrepreneur, the biggest lesson that I wish I knew, because this is the thing, Joy. This
Yes.
is just this is the gold right here. When you know who's your client, then you see it everywhere. You can spot it out of a crowd. The biggest issue I think I have found in my entrepreneurial career is that when you don't know when your next client is going to come from, and then everything kind of like closes down. The opportunities, you feel that they're closing down. When you know exactly who your client is, what's your target audience, and you decide, and you're disciplined into the sense that I am going to serve those that really are going to take advantage of my services, and not just everybody just because it's a piece of business, then the opportunities realistically open in front of you. Why? Because you know where these people are, which events are they frequent, where they are in social media, and you just show up. But if you don't know, if you're trying to serve everybody, then the opportunities dilute. They dilute because you are confused trying to do different things from different people.
Yes.
So having that clarity on who are the people that are the best suited for your services is, instead of reducing opportunities, open all these channels. It's like, when you buy a car and you decide that you want this type of car and then you see it everywhere?
Yes.
It's the same. Imagine like that. When you know who your client is, then you see it everywhere. Because if you're confused and you don't know who is the person that you want to serve, then you try to offer it to so many people that you waste so much time. I wish I knew that 5 years ago.
Oh, Carla, that is so glorious what you just shared, because I think when each and every, with few exceptions, those of us who start out online marketing, internet businesses, whatever type that is, you almost like go for any, every, and all.
Exactly.
And it takes a while before you discover that none of us are going to be a good fit for any, every, and all. We have to find whatever verbiage you want to use, our tribe and our circle. I love the way, I get excited when I hear people who are speaking. I love what you said in your bio to me, and I want to read this to our audience. You said that you have been seen as a visionary because your ultimate mission is to become a loyal partner to help and support people to their success in life. That in itself, when you're speaking about how you want to serve others, because when you do it from loyalty and love, the money, the dollar comes initially in time. So that in itself is great. Tell us a little bit about how you put these events together as briefly and succinctly and lovingly as you can, so that we can get excited with you about what you're doing.
Okay, so what I'm doing, and I have to speak, to explain what I do, I had to speak specifically about that type of client that I serve.
Yes.
So the client that I serve is usually a lot of coaches, usually coaches, entrepreneurs, trainers, basically those who are eager to transmit their message to their own audience. It's almost replicating what I do on my own business
Yes.
by attracting those clients rather than trying to sell them something. And the magic of this formula is that when you put yourself out there, the same way I put myself out there, and you deliver value, those who appreciate that value, those who are a fit, will be attracted to you, and there will be no need for lengthy follow up. There will be no need for pushy sales because they got it, they need you, they know it, and they will be attracted to you immediately. So there are several ways. The best way to explain it, there are several ways that you can market your products or services. The one that I develop for my clients is the live event. When you are going to stand on your own stage, bring a compelling message, most importantly, deliver value to
Yes. I
those
love
that
the
are
word
in that
value.
audience. And once they have acquired that value, experience a transformation, having a breakthrough, whatever you want to call it, they will know that you are the difference between where they are right now and where they want to be. And that's an immediate client right there because it is a good fit. So what I do with the people that I serve is that I help them. I create the actual event, the whole execution from A to Z, but I also help them clarify who that audience is, what the message is going to be, and how the most effective delivery of that message so they can close those sales on site, they can acquire those clients, and eventually that was going to affect their bottom line because they're going to make more money through their programs.
Yes. I love that word that you added there because a lot of times, being somewhat new to this end of the business, like you in corporate business all of my life and retired from that, I find that a lot of people are not giving the value that they exclaim to share. And people want value, and they also want to know that you value them.
Correct.
There's a difference. There's a big difference. Listen, this is so I'm really excited about what you're doing because I know that we have a future together. And I'm sure that there are people out there in the audience who also will be thinking about what they're planning for the future. Tell us a little bit about what you have lined up in the future and what you'll be doing, or if there's anything that you're doing that maybe you could invite people to come and see what you're about and how you do the work that you do. I know, but let's share with them.
Thank you for that. Well, actually, you'll be surprised because the things, since last time we got together, there's been some updates. As you develop even in your own business, the needs of clients make you change your own model so you are able to serve better. So one of
Yes.
the things that I have found is like everybody in their own business and in their own journey, they are in different stages. Not everybody's in the same stage. And even though there are people that are already currently doing events and they seek my help to improve their events or
Mhm.
to find out better ways to maybe the event is already somehow profitable, but they know that they're leaving something on the table and they want to deliver a better value, then they seek me. So for those clients, I've been doing event audits on which I sit in their event and I deliver an audit of everything that can be improved with a plan for their next event. That's one way that I sometimes introduce to the client.
I like that.
Another way, because I also have tried to make my services more attainable and more affordable for clients so I can serve more people. Some
Yes.
clients have looked for me and say, I have this idea, I have this business, and I have this message, but I don't feel I'm ready to deliver it live because number one problem, to be completely honest with you, the number one challenge that I've been hearing,
Yes.
I am not really clear or who is exactly what you're saying. Who is that person that is the perfect fit?
Yes.
So for those type of clients, there's three things that usually turn up. They're not clear who the audience is going to be, so they don't want to venture right away into the live event. they're not clear on how their message is delivered. It's here, but for somehow they can't express it in a
Yes.
clear way.
Mm-hmm.
And once the clients attracted to them, they are somehow confused in how to deliver a message that doesn't feel that is pushy or salesy, or how to identify is that person is the best fit. So for those clients, I'm actually have opened a consultation system on which, instead of doing some lengthy process, because most of these people want fast results, we sit down for 3 hours. I send them a questionnaire, and we sat for 3 hours to develop this first phase plan. If they decide to implement that plan with me, what they pay for that consultation applies to their event. So it's a win-win. They get the clarity that they need, and they can easily apply that to their first event. So it's been, let me tell you, it's been, and I have, for those that want to join my Facebook page, I just recently posted a testimonial, and it just filled my heart because she was so candid about how she trusted and she did it, and she was a little bit scared because she didn't know what to expect, and it was a 360 for that person. So that's a very easy way to start working with me right now, and that's something that I didn't have before, but I saw the need and I implemented that in my system.
That's what it's all about, though. I love that too. I think you always were on the right track. You just added another avenue that's taking you higher in the right direction. I have to tell you that the information that you're sharing and you've shared with us has been phenomenal in so many ways. And I'm sure there's so much more that you want to share. I just want to share with you and the audience that this video will be taken down to YouTube, and all of your links, how to contact you, to get in touch with you, will be put on there. And I know that you have an event coming up the end of July, I think you mentioned to me, that if you give me that link, and I think you sent it to me, I will make sure that that's on the video, so that those who are interested, it's right here. Well, it's near you and I don't know, people are all over the world, but in Jupiter, is that correct?
This event is in Jupiter. It's in Jupiter. It's actually the event of one of the clients that I serve, and she has given me the opportunity to speak at that event because she thinks it's very valuable for entrepreneurs, for women specifically entrepreneurs, to learn how to deliver these live events. So I'm going to go more in depth in the steps into how to put these events together and how to get your message out there. So it's on July 21st. It's in Jupiter. And I know you're going to be posting the link. It's called Lighting Up, and it's organized by the Women Prosperity Network. I'll be, I guess, a speaker. So I hope to see you all there.
Well, I'll be there for sure, and I'll bring as many as I can who want to come, because I know what you're about, and I know how hard you work, and I know how you put your heart into it. I'm absolutely thrilled that we were able to do this. I say this every week, Carla. I don't know where the time goes. I look and boom, it's gone. You have given us many, many tips and tools to work with and to think about, because those of us who are in this fantastic business that we love, some of us new to it, some of us have been at it for quite a while. It's always good to have someone come from the outside and share tips and tools that will benefit us on our journey as we move forward. And for you and I, with the Soul Connection, I just have no reservations that we'll be working together, and sometime soon. And all of the other people who've heard you and are interested, all of your data will go up on the site. So I thank you. I really thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you? You had so much information, I didn't have to ask you that much. You were light years ahead of me. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me, or anything you'd like to share other than what we've done so far before you say goodbye? And I want to put you to the side, but I don't want you to leave, because I just want to say goodbye to the listening audience. Is there anything at all? Bring it on, as they say.
It's just reiterating, honestly. I have so much passion about what I do, and and I know there's a lot of people out there that are very passionate what they do, and fear is just kind of stopping them to take that next step. Most of the people that I serve, that I speak to, the number one thing that they tell me is, but who's going to listen to me? Who am I to share this and this gift and talent that I have?
Yeah.
How dare you think that you don't have a gift and you're not entitled? Dare to think big, because one thing that have propelled me this last 6 or 7 years is my commitment. And I want you to tell that, I want your audience to tell them to themselves, my commitment is bigger than my fear. And it's just that. It's just that. That's the fuel that propels everything. If you are committed, I can absolutely guarantee you, I came from one successful career, but to another career that I had no education, no contacts, no background, and no clients. And it took for me to believe it first to take that step. It is possible. And if you're interested, I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to give you as much help and orientation that I can. And I know the people that follow you, Joy, and yourself too, and everybody hearing, you can do it.
I don't think that you could end this show with a better ending. You said it all. And with the clarity that it resonates down to the core of the being of a person. There's nothing better than that. I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been my pleasure to spend this time with you. I know without having any comments coming in that you have shared a lot of vital, absolutely beyond valuable information. So with that in mind, may I say so long for just now? I'll put you to the side and then in turn say goodbye and get back to you in just a second. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Joy. Thank you for the opportunity. Have a
Thank
great night.
you. Good night. I don't know where the time goes. I schedule somewhere between 18 and 30 minutes max, but then I get so involved and I get so excited and I tune in and I listen as you do. And then boom, I look and it's 30, 35. The time flies, but that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. May I say thank you for being here. It's always good to see you here. I love that you tune in and that you listen and that you share your comments with me after the fact. This is Carla's information here going across her MNG events. That will go up on the video with all the other information, her Facebook link, her phone, her email, everything, so that and also the event that she'll be doing, I think she said it's July the 21st in Jupiter. So if you're anywhere near and around, please attend. I will definitely be there. In the meantime, know that leading ladies, leaving legacies, living legacies, that's what we're about here. We invite you to come and to join us. We're looking for women who are above average and normal. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's the majority. We're looking for those trailblazers. And if you feel that you're one of those, and like Carla said, if you want to kick fear to the backside and then move up and onward, then send me a private message. I'd love to have you on the show. It would be my pleasure to interview and to hear your story. In the meantime, have a great week. Enjoy the weekend and know that we'll be back with you again next week. Until then, all the best. Be well and take care. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.